What's up, everybody? It's Veronica Morse, and I am coming at you with some coffee talk of what the heck's going on in real estate, as well as a little Seattle area market update. So let's get started. I love talking about this stuff. I do have a lot of numbers today, so bear with me as I look at my notes. But I'm talking about foreclosures first, because whether I'm seeing it, hearing it, or people are asking me, are we going to have this foreclosure crisis in 2021? And I'm going to give you some actual data that eases that scare, okay? So over the last 20 years, we have seen the average foreclosure filings per quarter at about 206,000. Right now, our most recent data from Q2 was just under 24,000 filings. Back in 2009, that Q2, that was at 566,000 filings. So even if this foreclosure moratorium gets lifted, of course, those may rise, which it's just the reality. However, to get to those numbers the average, that's a lot of foreclosures that I just don't think is going to happen. Now, a lot of it came from the initial forecasts of forbearance. So projections were that 30% of mortgages were going to go into forbearance. The reality is right now, I think at its peak, it was 8%. And right now we're around 5.6% of mortgages in forbearance. Now remember, that's not people not paying their bills or their mortgage. They could have had, extended, just working with the bank at some point. Now I want to talk about, because that's the country as a whole, I want to talk about our, little piece of heaven here in Seattle. We are Facebook heavy, Amazon, Microsoft, and what are people doing during this pandemic all over the country? They're getting on Facebook, finding friends, they're downloading apps, they're shopping on Amazon. So our employees are getting wealthy off their RSU stocks as those stocks are increasing. So what are our employees doing? They're making more money, and they're able to keep their homes and build new ones. Now, of course, that doesn't go for everywhere in the country, but for the greater Seattle area, I think we are very protected, and I just don't see a lot of foreclosures happening at all. So the next thing I want to talk about is interest rates. Now, we talk about them all the time, but there's rumors out there. There's rumors out there that once the vaccine gets distributed, that interest rates will go up. Now, higher yields on government bonds usually show optimism for a recovering economy. We've been seeing that. Higher rates on a 10-year Treasury note generally mean that the interest rates are going to go up. The new projections from Fannie, Freddie, from the National Association of Realtors, they just came out. And so for every quarter of 2021, they're predicting at, hovering at the 3% mark, which definitely is an increase. Don't forget, if you have been thinking about buying, your interest rate is going to make you have a lesser or more mortgage payment, and it will be on the same price of the home. So if you thought about it, I say pull the trigger and do it. But let's talk about King County right now. I usually talk as a whole, but King County has some interesting stats of what happened last month. Now we take last month's data because we don't have all of this month's yet, right? So new listings, we're going to compare just the October month of 2020 to October of 2019. New listings was up 31.4%. Now you're like, Veronica, you keep telling me I have an inventory problem, which we do. And we saw pending sales up 30.5% compared to 2019 of October. That's a lot of new home sales. Let's talk about average sales price, because we're all excited to hear that one. Wow, King County. So this is all for single family homes. For King County, the average sales price in October 2020 was $688,000. And that was up 16.5% from October of 2019. So I bet if you bought in October, you are stoked to hear that, or thought of last year, you're probably stoked to hear that number, which just goes to show that homes appreciate and you get wealthier by owning them. Everyone's gonna tell you it's a great time to buy and it's a great time to sell, and it really is. I don't try to be that salesperson. As a seller, you know that prices are high and interest rates are low enough that you can buy your new home and get locked in at a great rate. For first-time home buyers, for any new home buyers, yeah, the prices can be a little bit scary, but again, the rates that you are getting right now, you are going to be paying less in a monthly payment than you would in a less expensive home at a higher rate. And if you'd like to talk to me, I can compare these numbers for you. If you're taking your rent, I can compare it to a mortgage, and you can see what the cost analysis is and how much you're saving for tax benefits and so forth. So you know where to reach me if you have questions. 206-853-3491. DM me, email me, whatever it is. And I love doing these, and we'll talk soon. Have a great rest of your week.